Hey guys, what's going on? So today I have a list of my top 10 favorite thrash metal bands. So yeah, I figured I'd do this, and I'm also going to be doing my top 10 favorite death metal bands and my top 10 favorite black metal bands. The black metal one will be a redo. And after I do those after those three, let's technically counting this one, I'll also be doing my top 5 favorite subgenres of metal. So yeah. But also we're listening to some Dark Throne in the background, Transylvanian Hunger. I was listening to the record before I started recording the video, and I figured why the fuck not leave it on, because I don't feel like turning it off or finishing listening to the whole thing before I start the video, because I don't have a lot of time. Also, I put up my Watain poster in the background, you can see that, so that's pretty sick. So yeah. So anyways, I have 5 honorable mentions, and those are Testament, Toxic Holocaust, Havoc, Municipal Waste, and Destruction. I like those bands quite a bit, but not enough to fit on the list. I like the bands on my top 10 a lot more. But those bands are still worth mentioning, so yeah. Alright, so number 10, we've got Sodom. Just amazing, one of the best German thrash bands. One of the heaviest thrash bands, really. Very aggressive. I really like their artwork. Their early stuff was very influential to like first wave black metal, which is awesome. My favorite album is probably Persecution Mania or Agent Orange. I really like Agent Orange. When I was huge into thrash metal before I discovered death metal and black metal, that was one of my favorite albums. And it's an amazing album, and just great riffs, vocals are killer. I think not much else to say, just classic band. But the reason they aren't higher on this list is because I haven't spent as much time listening to them as I have the rest of the bands on this list. So yeah, number 9 is pretty much the band that got me into metal, that gets a lot of people into metal, and that's Metallica. I fucking love the first 4 albums; are just great in my opinion. The rest of the stuff, not so much, but Injustice for All is one of my favorite thrash albums ever. I also really like Ride the Lightning and Kill 'Em All and Master Poets, of course, but Injustice for All is definitely my favorite from them, because I really like that darker kind of vibe on the album. It's a lot more serious than a lot of thrash out there, but, you know, just great, and there's not much I need to say, it's fucking Metallica, so yeah. Number 8 is Anthrax. I used to be huge into Anthrax in middle school. I'm not as big into them as I used to be, but I still like them quite a bit, especially the Joey Belladonna era. My favorite album is probably Spreading the Disease, although my favorite album from them changes a lot. At first it was State of Euphoria, then it was Among the Living, and now it's fucking Spreading the Disease, just because I really, like, in hindsight, I like that more than the rest of their stuff, just because it's a little bit more melodic, and it's a little more speed metal oriented, which I feel like they do better than thrash, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, Anthrax is just a great band, not as heavy as a lot of the other thrash bands. They don't take themselves as seriously, which is something that I like. So yeah, number 7 is Overkill, just amazing. I'm pretty sure they're from New York, thrash, I hope I got that right. But, you know, Years of Decay is just fucking awesome. The riffs are killer. Bobby Blitz, I believe that's the guy's name. It's been a while since I've spent a lot of time listening to Overkill. His vocals are just kick-ass. You know, just really fun thrash, but it still kind of has a hard edge to it, which is something that I like. And some of their earlier stuff has a little bit of speed metal in it. So it's just awesome. So yeah, Overkill is a great band. Number 6 is the only new wave thrash band that I have on my top 10. And that's Power Trip. I've seen them live, and I just think that they're amazing. They're just as good as any of the classic bands, in my opinion, because they don't try. A lot of the newer bands, like, they try to sound like the classic bands. You know, there's so many newer thrash bands that try to sound like Exodus, or try to sound like Violence, or try to sound like fucking DRI. But Power Trip, they don't necessarily do something extremely original by experimenting much. They just play really good thrash, and I can't think of a single band that sounds exactly like them. They just do it really well. Fucking Manifest Decimation and Nightmare Logic are just amazing albums. They're just done really well. I really like their vocals, especially, are very aggressive. They're a little bit of crossover thrash, but I would pretty much just call them straight up thrash metal for the most part. Their riffs are just really memorable, and they just make you want to fucking headbang. They're just a great metal band all around, and if you haven't heard Power Trip, you should, because their newest album that came out last year, Nightmare Logic, got a lot of good reception. So yeah. Number 5 is Creator, my favorite German thrash band. Generic opinion, I know, I don't care. But amazing fucking, just fast, heavy riffs. One of the heaviest thrash bands, probably one of the fastest, if not the fastest thrash band. Pleasure to Kill is a great album, so is Extreme Aggression, but my favorite is Terrible Certainty. I know that's not a popular opinion. Well, it's not really an unpopular opinion, it's just not a common opinion. But that's my favorite, because that's the album that got me into them. Yeah, just super fun, violent sounding thrash, really great, very heavy, for thrash metal at least, so yeah. Alright, number 4 is Megadeth. Specifically the early shit, I don't really care much for anything after Countdown to Extinction, although there's a few good albums, like I like United Abominations and Endgame, and Dystopia was alright, but the first fucking 5 albums are just great. Killing Is My Business is classic. Peace Sells is a masterpiece. So Far So Good, So What is my favorite, definitely. Just perfect album, because that's probably my favorite, because it has the least amount of overplayed songs on it, but they're still really just perfect songs. And then Rest in Peace, of course, everyone fucking loves that album, and that's a great album. And I also really like Countdown to Extinction a lot, even though that's maybe not even a thrash album, but it's still really damn good. But can't think much else to say. It's fucking Megadeth, you should know. Alright, number 3, we've got Exodus. One thing I love about Exodus is that they do a very simple meat and potato style thrash, but they do it so well that it's just really fun to listen to. Albums like fucking Bonded by Blood are just perfect. My favorite era, of course, is the Paul Bailoff era. I know that's so generic, but I fucking love it. Bonded by Blood, there's just so many good songs. A Lesson in Violence, the title track, fucking, and Then There Were None. Just amazing riffs, really fast. Fucking awesome lyrics. A lot of them are about like killing people and shit. Really aggressive. But they still know when to have fun with songs like fucking Toxic Waltz. Just really great band. All right, number 2 is they weren't always a thrash band, but they were for probably the most popular part of their career. That's Sepultura. I know that everything after Arise wasn't thrash, but fucking hell, man. Beneath the Remains is just perfect. The reason they're so high on this list is probably because they also have a lot of death metal in their sound. But I still think that you could call them a thrash band. But Beneath the Remains and Arise are my favorite. I like Roots and I like Chaos AD, but those two are their best in my opinion. Fucking Arise and I keep starting Arise and Beneath the Remains, and the first 2 albums are really good too. Just amazing. One of the few thrash bands that could be considered extreme metal. Very heavy for a thrash band, and their lyrical content is meant to be taken a lot more seriously than a lot of the other thrash bands out there, especially from that era. And just great songwriting, so many great albums. Pretty much just the Mask of Caligula. I don't really care for anything after Roots. But fucking hell, Sepultura is amazing. Number 1, you guys should all know who the fuck it is, and it's Slayer, of course. If it weren't for Slayer, I wouldn't have gotten to extreme metal. I wouldn't have gotten into a whole lot of metal, to be honest, if it weren't for Slayer. And Rain and Blood is just perfect. That's my favorite album from them. Again, I have really generic opinions when it comes to thrash metal, but yeah, I fucking love Rain and Blood. My second favorite album is probably Seasons in the Abyss. I also like Hell Awaits quite a bit. Just really great, super aggressive thrash metal. Not the most progressive band ever. A lot of their songs do sound the same. But that's one of the things I like about them, though, is that they're repetitive, but their songs are short enough so that it's not really that much of a problem, kind of like with punk bands, I guess. And it's just really fun, but still very angry sounding and aggressive, but headbangable as fuck. And I can't wait to see them live in May. I can't think much else to say. I mean, it's fucking Slayer. Again, a lot of these bands are really big bands, so yeah. But that's it for this list, though. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all that stuff. I'll see you guys next time. So yeah, bye.